in this demo, we're doing the setup of a coach applications. Now, this could, of course, be your candidate information and all of that fun stuff. So the URL, the A column is your URLs. So let's say I have a URL here from another candidate. I just double click in that, I paste the URL, so it's a nice long URL, and then I press enter, and that URL just stays like that unless I want to turn it into a chip, which is a new Google option. If I turn it into a chip, it just changes it from the HTTPS, right, to whatever name of, yeah, so that's nice, because then this whole first last name thing kind of becomes not necessary, but I keep it in there anyways, because let's say I want to sort by last name or something like that, right? So then I look at, okay, what demographic would I need? I'd need first name, last name, address, cell, date of birth, you know, who knows what I might need. I might need to share this with my credential analyst, who knows, right? Or other people on my team. So I want to get all the information I can in one sheet, right? So all I do then is I do that import range. And I'm going to try to zoom in on that. My zoom is not working for some reason. Weird. How about this? There we go. So if I zoom in, can you see that okay? Okay. So when I click on this, I type in equals import range. I reference A2. And then if you put the little hash sign on there, it'll stay in column A. And then 2 will change if I were to drag it down. So that's why the cache sign is not on the 2. Okay. And then I do quotation marks, and I look and I reference the tab within this spreadsheet. And the first tab is called Coach Application. Then I separate it with an exclamation mark. And then I reference the exact cell that I'm wanting to retrieve. And then close it out with quotation marks, and then close out the whole thing with a parentheses, okay? So that's a quick review of import range. And I can do that, as you can see, the first name is in C7, the last name's in F7, the address is in C10, right? And I'm just going into wherever I want of my spreadsheet. That's it, Sherlock Holmes' spreadsheet, right? So once I have everything that I want, right, then I've got everything from their date of birth, their email, which is probably their personal email. Then I can pull up their credential information, because that's all on the first page of the application, right? I can get their district employer information, the county. You deal with counties, right? You deal with different districts. Yeah, so district employer would be a big one for you. You definitely want to pull that in so you could sort by district, etc., right? And then, of course, maybe supervisor name. You might want to sort by that. You know, credential, experience, right? All of this is in here. So once I've got every import range, as you can see, this last one is Coach Application C96. So it's kind of towards the bottom of the page. And then I always do, because I have these things going at a diagonal, I always do an extra line at the end, right? Extra column at the end. So once I have every import range found, then all I have to do is highlight the whole row and drag down 1 or 20, right? And it will go ahead and find all of those for not A2 anymore, it's A3. So now it's referencing Obi-Wan Kenobi's. Okay, so that's how I then pull down all the information from my first, because once I have my first row, it's just a highlight, drag and drop, and it'll bring down all those import ranges, as long as I don't have a cache sign in front of the number, so that it knows when it drags it down, it's going to look at the next row down. Okay. So then I could do this. I could do it a couple ways. I could do this and drag it all the way down. And what I get is a bunch of not applicables because there's no URL here. Okay, and then, right, so I'll go ahead and do that and show you how easy that is. So I grab it, my URL, I paste it, I press return. Instantly Dana Scully comes up. And then, of course, I can change this to a chip. Okay? All right. So that's your first setup idea. So now I'm going to go ahead and copy, paste that here. All right. And then I'm going to get rid of these guys. So, of course, let's just keep them there because I know you are dealing with a consortium, multiple districts. So you're going to have 100 of something of these, right? 40. Okay. You're going to have 40. And I've got 32 here. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay. So then this is another thing that I've done is for my visual brain, I look at coaches are always, I'll just say green for me. All right. So I highlight the first demographic information in alternative colors so it's easy to read. And I do green. Okay. And then I just click done. The other thing I do is I kind of put the stuff that I need, like the email over here, a little closer, right? And then I will highlight everything except for the one column that will stay. I'll highlight all those columns and then I'll right click and I'll do view more column actions and group, which I know you already know. But what that does is it allows me to group by, okay, that's the demographic information. Now, let's say I'm going to look at their credential information, right? So the credential information goes all the way over to here. I am going to change it to alternative colors. And let's do it orangish. Click OK. Same thing. And what this does is it allows me to have all my information there, and it takes a while. And I grouped them just now, right? But now it's like I don't need to see all the credential information all at once, but I know it's there and I know it's orange. And if I want to unhide it, I can, right? So the same thing, district employer. That's going to be a big one for you because you're going to want to sort by that a lot, right? But you maybe don't need the county or the principal, or the current site or the supervisor and all of that. You're just like, hey, I'm just going to group all of the district stuff in one color. Make that blue, click OK, and then I will group this all together except for district employer, which I will stay showing. And there you go. So there's that. And then the application questions, those kind of go back to the actual candidate or coach. So I'm going to go back to green for that. But I do want to see that they signed it, or maybe I want to see that they dated it. Whatever I want here as like the header of my columns, I'm going to put that first. And then all of this. Now this gets into the reviewer type of stuff. Maybe the signature, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and group that, do the same that I've done before. Maybe a different color, purple. Same thing. But I want to know, I want to be able to, if people are like, well, when did they apply or when did they enroll or whatever, right? Those things are all important. So I kind of want it there, but I don't want it always showing, right? But at least this signature shows me, hey, they're on board. They signed it type of thing, right? Whatever you want to do. And then this last one is the application process. That's something that I don't know if you noticed, but that's in ours, like where they are on the enrollment process. That can all be put there, whether they're approved or not approved. And that depends on what you put in that office only section, right? So if you, like when I saw your thing there were a lot of office only things there. And what you can do is you put that in your enrollment where they enroll up above and then your office only stuff is down below. Then that is unhidden, right? You put it in there the minute they're enrolled. And then because it's in the application or in the enrollment, whatever it is, you can pull that information into your program document is what we call it, right? So just know what you showed me, that looked like it was done by you guys and you guys alone. Some of it might be in their document. Some of it's just you got it from a Google form or you got it from their supervisor or whatever, right? Yeah, so that's where we shifted a lot of it. Whatever we were doing in the background, we put into the enrollment form itself so that it was kind of housed there for the candidate, the mentor, the supervisor, for everyone to see. But because if it's housed there, then we usually get it correct because there's like three eyes on it, right? There's the candidate eyes on it, there's the mentor eyes on it, there's my eyes on it, or whatever. So that if that's housed in the actual document of the candidate or of the coach or mentor, then it's going to be more than likely correct because they're seeing it and they're making sure that it's right. And then when it's pulled over, right, I'm just looking at what is in that individual's information, right? So that kind of helped our processes a lot better because sometimes when you have an original data point and then people are changing that, but then not telling other people what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Then that's where it can be concerning because when it's on the candidates or it's on the coaches, less people have eyes or hands on it, right? And so it's being brought over. So that's just one thing that changed for us, but definitely helped because now it's like there's an accountability piece there. Like, hey, if there's something that needs to be changed or updated, we need to do it on the original document because then it pulls over correctly, you know. So it's a little bit of extra work, but I'm going to tell you right now, I talked to somebody just yesterday. They did a one-on-one with me, and we kind of problem solved some great stuff that I want to share with you. So this is the whole application process, whether or not they got approved or denied as a coach applicant, right? So I'm going to go back to what was my original color. I'm going to go back to green on that one. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But if I want to know if they were hired, right, I'm going to put that kind of over here. Actually, I'm going to put that at the very beginning and just hide all this other stuff. And now we're done. Okay, so now what was a very long document, very long, yeah, you're muted. But yeah, exactly. I can see what I want to see when I want to see it and then hide it when I don't want to see it. So that's kind of how to create it so that as a whole program, you have the thing that, and not, all that data came from the very first page of the candidate's document, right? Because as you know, there's the training page, right? And then maybe I do that. I color code it per date of training, right? And then I hide and shrink that or whatever. This enrollment one is the candidates ones, right? So candidate demographic, their employer information, their site information, you know, university, how many days it took to match them. I thought that was interesting. But then all of their signatures in enrolling, right? And then their assigned coach, which is great because sometimes I want the coach and the candidate on the same page, and I want to quickly figure out because I can sort by coaches because I've got several people mentoring. Do you have that? You have a mentoring? Yeah. Right. And so I want to sort by mentors. Like I want to see, well, how many candidates does this one mentor have? So I can do that if I bring it into that same program sheet, right? Um, so those are the type of things that we've used. Now, this is the last thing I want to do, and I want to get it on recording. So I talked with, I can't remember her name right now. She will remain nameless. But she and I talked about how she works with multiple districts and multiple credential analysts. Do you do that? Okay, so you're lucky that way.